One combo you'll see me go for a lot is up air, down air, up air, back air. At like 0%, and as you can see at the top of the screen with up B, they kind of just die. In recoveries and catching opponents that are just gonna fall with the button because you have heavy armor the entire time. What's up, gamers? So we're back with another Flash Party character guide, and today we'll be doing a character guide for everyone's favorite and most hated swordsman, Sophia. So a lot of people really enjoy playing Sophia because she's like a very straightforward swordsman kind of character. She's kind of like a Marth clone, Lucina clone, whichever one you want to call it. And she's also very annoying to play in the fact that she is a Marth clone or Sophia clone or whichever one you want to call it. Sword characters are always some of the most annoying characters to deal with because they have some of the best range, and if you space their moves correctly, a lot of their moves are safe on shield and really hard to deal with. It's just kind of pressing you into shield, and Sophia is absolutely no different. So let's hop right into the guide. Let's start off with Sophia's A moves. So Sophia's A moves, her grounded A moves, they're pretty good for getting opponents off of her. Her up tilt is one of her main grounded moves that you'll see a lot of because she gets a lot from up tilt. So let's just hop right into it. So Sophia's standing A move is a 2-hit jab. That's really just about it, 10% from a jab. And once again, if you press it, you don't get the full jab, and you can mash it to get the full double jab. As you can see right there, there's no jab shenanigans, so you don't get anything like jab 1 into something else because her jab 1 does not lift off the ground, which is really sad because I swear if it did, she would be even better, but she's already amazing, so she doesn't need it. But her jab is basically a get off me tool. That's really just about it. The fact that she could run into this or dash into this, that's really just about it for jab. You'll be using it to basically get opponents off you and create that space or knock them off stage and put them in a bad situation. That's really all Sophia's jab is used for. So let's go into Sophia's down tilt. Sophia's down tilt is kind of the same as her jab. It's kind of like a get off me tool, kind of like gets opponents off you, knocks them away. The best thing about this move is at higher percentages, it starts leading to tech chase situations, as you can see right there. So you can kind of like down tilt, dash forward, and turn around in neutral B for opponents that like roll behind you, kind of like that. Or you can like down tilt, read the roll all the way out with neutral B. It just kind of sets up really good in those tech chase situations. And even if your opponent doesn't tech, you can get things like run up and side B. So it's like I say, it's at higher percentages, it just sets up for tech chase situations. But outside of that, you won't really be using her down tilt that much, just kind of like how you won't be using her jab that much. So let's go into her up tilt. Now Sophia's up tilt is absolutely ridiculous. Let me reset the the bot. But Sophia's up tilt is crazy. As you can see, it covers like in an arc around her, so it hits behind her. It also hits in front of her, and as you can see from the hitbox, it hits really high above her like that. The best thing about this move is that it combos, so you can get up tilt into forward air. You can get things like reverse up tilt. Oh my gosh, I missed that back air, but up tilt into back air. You'll mainly be using up air out of up tilt, so you'll be doing things like up tilt, up air. But when you get to those mid percentages, up tilt kind of stops comboing. But it does set up for some really good situations because your opponent has to air dodge it after you up tilt them, or they're going to take the following hit. So at low percentages, up tilt is just really, really good. Just doing things like up tilt into up tilt, or doing things like up tilt into up air, doing things like reverse, reverse up tilt into back air, doing things like forward hit of up tilt into forward air. As you can see right there, up tilt's just a very, very good combo tool. And even outside of the combo percentages, it just sets Sophia up for such a good position. Because as you can see, up tilt leaves them above Sophia. And they kind of have to make a decision immediately. So you can just kind of like follow that decision if they choose not to air dodge, or if they choose to try to follow you with the button. Up tilt's just very, very good. So we've talked about down tilt, jab, and up tilt. Let's go into Sophia's forward strong. Sophia's forward strong is that it's really strong. It's really, really hard. If you can catch like a read with this move, you can get really early KOs, like around 60 or 70 on the edge of the stage. This move isn't safe on shield. Even if you fully space it, it can get punished because she has so much in lag afterwards. But it does have a lot of range, so you don't have to be up on your opponent. You can set some space between y'all and just kind of throw it out and see if you get a hit because it covers so much in front of her, as you can see right there. Her forward strong is very, very good if you can get like a read with it, or you feel like somebody's going to fall with a button and you just kind of like dash back and cover the button with forward strong. You'll see me use forward strong a lot with Sophia. It's very, very good because of the range and space that it just covers right there, as you can see. So that'll do it for about, oh, I almost forgot. Dash attack. Sophia's dash attack, kind of like the rest of her grounded moves, it's kind of like a get off me tool. It has a very good knock angle to where it doesn't combo, but it puts opponents in situations where they have to make a guess immediately. Because as you can see, you go forward there and you can dash attack and then immediately go for the aerial follow-up, so your opponent has to guess. It's just basically like something to whiff punish opponents that are like jumping a lot. You won't really use dash attack a lot because it is one of her most punishable moves. As you can see, the in lag on it is really, really crazy. You don't like get anything crazy out of it except for a good neutral situation and knocking opponents off stage like that, as you can see. So I think that'll do it for her grounded moves. We've done jab, down tilt, up tilt, which is amazing. And we've done dash attack and forward strong. So let's hop into her B moves. So Sophia's B moves are actually really good. She has a few useful ones that you'll basically use a lot. I mean, I won't even say a few useful ones. I actually think Sophia is one of the characters where all of her B moves do something very, very well. So let's hop into neutral B. Sophia's neutral B is a spin with the sword, and it's a sequence of hits. And as you can see, 14%. This neutral B does have very long in lag, so you can't necessarily do it and it be safe on shield. And since it's multiple hits, the last hit is very easy to parry because the timing never change. The thing about this move is, if you do it in the sky, Sophia floats. If you hit someone, Sophia will float and connect the entire thing. It's also a very good offstage kill move because the launch on it is very, very strong. Let's see if I can get it. As you can see right there. And since she floats with it, you can easily just recover and make it back to the stage. This move is very good for sneaking kills because you can do things like jump, double jump, and fall with it, because a lot of people are one of the easiest ways to deal with Sophia is to parry the aerial that she's going to throw out, such like forward air or falling up air or falling down air or even like falling neutral air. So if you parry those, you can get some really good punishes on Sophia. So a lot of Sophia players like to mix it up and jump at opponents in neutral B because it's multiple hits. And it also has the same amount of range as her forward strong, so that you don't necessarily have to be directly on top of your opponent to hit them with it. You can just kind of set that space up and throw it out, and your opponent has to be wary of it. If they get the read and they manage to like block it, you'll get punished. But if they don't, it has really high knockback, so you can get some really, really cheeky kills. Very, very good kill option for Sophia to have. The fact that she could just throw out this neutral B on a read or on an opponent that's off stage and get an early kill. Very, very good. So we talked about neutral B. Let's hop into Sophia's down B. So Sophia's down B is a counter. Probably the best counter in the game. I know I've done guides with characters that have a lot of counters. Sophia's counter is probably the best counter in the game because when your opponents hit the counter, they stop, they freeze, and Sophia counters. So let's just kind of run off and counter like that. And she could do that to a lot of recoveries. A lot of recoveries that up B and have hitboxes. She could literally just run off and counter those and knock opponents back into the death bots. That's really just about it for her counter. It's not something that you'll throw out on stage because it does have a good amount of in lag. As you can see, like when she misses the counter, she kind of shakes her head in like disappointment for missing the counter. So basically using it when your opponent is off stage and they have to recover, that'll be when you'll be using the counter the most. And that'll basically be how you'll get like some really cheeky kills with counter. Certain characters like Thanatos, I'm trying to think, Thanatos, Cookie and Can, characters that like have to recover straight up with a hitbox. You just kind of like counter them and you basically like delete them. Like they don't die immediately, but the counter sends at such a hard hitting angle that it's really hard for a lot of characters to recover once they do get countered. So we talked about counter. Let's talk about side B. So Sophia's side B is a sequence of hits, as you can see. You don't have to mash this. The only thing you have to do is press side B once, and she will do all of the hits. The thing about this is, if Sophia hits an opponent with that last hit, she can act out immediately. So this is without hitting an opponent. As you can see, it has that end lag, and this is with hitting an opponent. As you can see, I can jump immediately after that last hit hits. And the reason why is because at low percentages, it's a combo move. And like I say, at low percentages, because like around mid percentages, it kind of starts comboing because the launch is so high, as you can see. So like maybe like around 60, it will stop comboing and it will just kind of be like a knockaway tool, as you can see right there. But at lower percentages, like landing on somebody, hitting them with this to like get that combo starter at lower percentages is very, very good because of the angle it knocks upwards. Because like I said, a lot of people try to punish Sophia's single hitting aerials. So even on most opponents, you can land with side B like that, so you can get that follow-up, or basically just mix up your landing if your opponent is parrying you a lot. That's another good use for Sophia's side B. Another thing about Sophia's side B is she can grab the edge while doing it. So let's see if I can get high enough to, as you can see right there. So she doesn't even finish the entire side B, but she can grab the ledge to cancel the animation of the side B. The thing about this is kind of like if you want to fall with multiple hitboxes instead of falling with one hitbox and then up being into the ledge. That's really just about it for Sophia's side B. And another thing to note is at the end of side B, when you're in the air, as you can see, I have the end lag, but when you're in the air, you can mash out up B, and when Sophia does the final swing, she will automatically up B, as you can see right there. So if you do things like side B and fall past the ledge, you can up B. So it's basically like kind of covering yourself with a multitude of hitboxes to make your opponent guess or kind of make them scared and kind of guess whether you're going to side B and go to the ledge or side B and mash out up B, so that you can go past the ledge and go to the ledge. That'll really just about do it for Sophia's side B. Like I say, very good mix-up tool at lower percentages, but at higher percentages, you won't really use it that much because the knockback is way too strong for you to like continuously combo with it. So let's talk about Sophia's up B. Now, if you've been watching these guides, I've always said Sophia's up B is absolutely ridiculous because she like kind of comes from like the depths of the death box, like with that up B. As you can see, like it's crazy how far up Sophia goes with her up B, and I think that's like the one thing that kind of like puts her overboard. I think she goes too far, but in every guide you see, I'd be like, oh my god, Sophia's up B is busted, and you're seeing it here. This up B goes really, really high. But not only does this up B go really, really high, because you always see, you know, the bot recover, you never see the bot hit me with the up B. This up B actually has a lot of launch. As you can see right there, at 90, almost getting a kill off the top of the screen, this up B is really, really strong. Very good out of shield option also. You just kind of like tap shield and up B out of shield. The hitbox on it is very, very generous. As long as like you turn it the right direction. And opponents just take like an instant 12% and just get launched. It's really crazy. And it also has very high launch in the air. So it doesn't just hit hard on the ground, like, you know, kind of how some up Bs will be strong on the ground, but not as strong in the air. Sophia's up B is strong all around, all together. Like at 80, if you catch someone at the top of the screen with up B, they kind of just die. It's a very, very good up B. A lot of opponents, you'll see them get kills because like at 100, you don't want to like run up and get the forward strong because it has charge time. You don't want to miss the, oops, that was the enhanced neutral B. You don't want to miss the neutral B. So like a lot of opponents will get big punishes at higher percentages with up B. So like if you hit someone at higher percentages and they miss a tech, a lot of opponents will just run up and kind of like up B because it has so much launch. The up B has ridiculous amounts of launch. As you can see right there, at 70 at the top of the screen, Sophia died. And that's really crazy for an up special move. So not only does it have tons of launch, it also goes up really high. And as you can see right there, It also hits a little bit past the ledge when she's going up. So if your opponents are standing on the edge, they can get hit by Sophia's up B just by her up being, which would knock your opponent away and basically give you like a free get up option. Very, very good up B. Cannot stress how good this up B is, and I think it's probably the most broken thing about her right now. It's the one thing about her that I would nerf. I feel like it goes too high. I'm okay with it being this strong. I'm not okay with it going this far up. That'll just about be it. So we've talked about neutral B, we've talked about side B, we've talked about down B, and we talked about up B. So let's go into Sophia's aerials. Now, Sophia's aerials, this is where she shines. If you fought Sophia's, you'll realize a lot of them like to throw out aerials. It's really hard to deal with. You're like, oh my gosh, these aerials are so safe. Because they really are. You have to punish these aerials, and fighting Sophia is really based on you being good at your parries, because the Sophia main is going to be very good at spacing these aerials. So let's just hop right into it. Sophia's neutral air is basically a full body swing, as you can see right here. The thing about this full body swing is it knocks out and it's safe on shield. And you'll hear me say that a lot about a lot of her aerials, but if you space this neutral air, it is safe on shield. Your opponent can't really do anything about it. And it also has a back hitbox. So a forward and a back hitbox, like I said, because it's a full body swing, very safe on shield. Your opponent has to be ready to parry this in order to get a punish. And it just sets up because of the angle it knocks is just so far out. Very, very good move. It's not a comboing move or anything like that. It's just basically a knockaway move to get opponents off of you. Or if you need a landing option, or you're not sure if you can anti-air with somebody with forward air, you can just jump in neutral air and then cover with forward air, or you can land with fall away neutral air. As I said, this move is very, very hard to deal with on shield. So we've talked about neutral air. Let's talk about forward air. Sophia's forward air is probably one of her most annoying aerials, as you can see. But surprisingly, it is the aerial that has the most in lag. So this move, if it's spaced, it is safe on shield. It's really hard for your opponents to punish it. As you can see, she could throw out multiple forward airs. The launch on it is crazy. But if you just land on your opponent's shield without spacing this move, you will get hard. Well, I won't say hard punished, but you'll get grabbed. Some opponents will have moves like quick out of shield moves to where they can like down tilt you and start combos and stuff like that. This forward air is also one of her easiest moves to whiff punish, because as you can see, that landing animation she does, it has a lot of in lag. That's a lot of in lag for most of her aerials, which don't really have that. So forward air is a very, very good move to throw out when spacing. Another thing about forward air is that forward air is a reliable kill move. As you can see, like the launch to where it knocks opponents is very, very good. If you catch somebody with like forward air off stage, they're probably gonna die because you forward air them off stage. And forward air just hits so hard that it always knocks and puts your opponent in a bad position. Forward air is just a very, very good aerial all around. As you can see, the hitbox is pretty crazy. And it just kind of like knocks at that death angle. Like if your opponents don't have a good up B or a way to deal with it, forward air is just very, very good for edge guarding. So we've talked about forward air and neutral air. Let's talk about up air. Sophia's up air is really crazy. As you can see, it's an arc, kind of like her up tilt. It hits behind her. It also hits. Oops, that was still behind me. It also hits in front of her, as you can see. It's also one of her main combo starters, because you can do things like landing up air into double jump up air. At lower percentages, you can do things like up air into back air. It's a very, very good move, a very good combo starter. Also, this move is safe on shield. And if you space it, it's really hard for your opponents to deal with this move. As you can see, you don't have to be directly on your opponents with up air. In order to get the up air, you can just kind of like up air and fade back if you're landing on them forwards, or you can up air and fade away if you're landing on them backwards. This up air is a really hard move to deal with, and Sophia could just kind of throw out multiples. And then on top of that, it leads to some pretty good combos. And if your opponent isn't ready, it also leads to some kill confirms like up air into up B, as you can see right there. Very, very good move to use at lower percentages. At lower percentages, you can get things like falling, up air, back air. You can get things like up air into down air. Just a lot of things at lower percentages, and then even at mid percentages, you can get combos because up air is so good. So good. As you can see right there, it just covers a lot. One combo you'll see me go for a lot. Let's see if I can reset the bot to 0. One combo you'll see me go for a lot is up air, down air, up air, back air at like 0%. And as you can see, it's like 39%. Your opponents can't really do much about it except for like trying DI. And then after that, you just kind of like shark with up airs to get confirmed. Shark with up air, like throw out up airs to like frustrate your opponent. Empty land into grabs. Like up air's just very, very good for a character like Sophia to have. So we've talked about up air and all of its brokenness. Let's talk about back air. Back air is a very, very good aerial for Sophia. It's a lot safer than forward air, but it doesn't have as much launch as forward air. But you can space it further out than forward air. As you can see right here. You see how the hitbox kind of like swings out. It's a lot easier to space this move out than it is to space forward air out. It doesn't kill as hard as forward air, but it's a lot easier to cover jumps and just kind of like keep opponents out with back air. As you can see right here. Very basically like hard hitting move. Hits opponents at like the sideways angle that all her moves do. If you catch opponents with it off stage, because you could jump, throw out back air, jump, throw out another back air. You could throw out multiple of those. It's a very, very good coverage move. It's basically kind of like her forward air, how her forward air covers at an arc. Her back air kind of covers at the same arc, but upwards. Very, very good. Basically for a character like Sophia. So we talked about back air. We talked about up air. We talked about neutral air. Let's talk about Sophia's down air. So Sophia's down air is actually a really strong spike. Also a very good down air. As you can see, it covers in an arc. Kind of like Marth or Lucina's down air. As you can see right here. A very, very good arc. Is not safe on shield. So I wouldn't recommend landing on opponents with this unless you're positive they're probably not going to parry. It has a spike hitbox. Let's see if I can get the spike. I don't think I'll be able to. As you can see right there, has a very, very good spike hitbox. The spike hitbox is basically where she starts the big swing. So it's in front of her. That's what the spike hitbox is. So if you're going for it, you kind of want to aim for opponents that are like are kind of going to be in front of you, or you kind of want to jump back and spike. As you can see where the big swing hitbox is, that's where the sweet spot for the spike is. Very, very good spike. Very strong spike. She doesn't really get combos out of it on stage because falling with down air does have some pretty good landing lag. But if you can catch opponents off stage with it, you can get early kills. Another thing about this down air is that when you're hanging on the ledge like this, you can jump and down air, and you can still get the sweet spot while covering opponents' recoveries and while going on the stage. That's another good thing about her down air. You can even like go forward air and then double jump back and down air and land on the stage because that down air covers a lot. As you can see right here, you can also use down air as like a combo extender at lower percentages with up air. So even in moments, you can go up air into down air, or you can do things like up tilt into double jump down air. You don't really get kills from it, but it's basically kind of like a combo extender. That'll really just about do it for down air. Reset the body. So we've talked about her grounded A moves. We've talked about her specials and her aerials. Let's go into Sophia's grab. Now, you're saying Sophia has all these really good safe on shield moves, so it kind of forces me to shield. So don't tell me she has a good grab. And that is true. Sophia does not have a comboing grab. I won't say Sophia's grab isn't good. Sophia's grab is good for what she is, a basic swordsman. It's a grab to basically give her stage control and stage position. As you can see, back throw doesn't really have that much launch, so you won't be getting any kills with back throw. The thing about back throw is it sets opponents up in positions to where they have to guess. So if they decide to double jump, you just kind of catch their double jump with an aerial, because as I've shown you, like Sophia's aerials are really, really good. And forward throw just knocks opponents off stage and puts them in a bad situation. It knocks them off stage and kind of sets them up for like forward airs, or it sets them up for like down airs or back airs. Like the angle of her forward throw is really, really good for her as a sword character. And that'll do it for her throws. I know a lot of people see her with the sticker because she actually has a sticker that gives her basically like better throws, and it turns her back throw into a comboing throw. And that right there is why I think Sophia is one of the best characters in the game, because the sticker that turns her back throw into a comboing throw kind of sets her overboard, because she's a character with safe aerials, combo potential, one of the best jugglers in the game because of up air and up tilt, and then giving her a throw that allows her to combo into kills. It's just really, really crazy for a character like Sophia. But that'll do it for her grabs. So let's talk about her combos. So Sophia is kind of like a one-trick pony at higher percentages. You just kind of jump around, space out your opponents, and most of your combos will actually come from up tilt, as you can see, and up air, as you can see right there. At lower percentages, Sophia has really, really good juggles. At higher percentages, she kind of becomes like a one-hit kind of character, like the hits will knock you away. But at lower percentages, her juggles are very, very good. That's what kind of makes her really annoying to deal with as a character, because you kind of get hit by her and you get juggled. So like at lower percentages, you can do things like up tilt dash up tilt. You can do things like up tilt up air into up air, which leads into a juggle. You can do things like up tilt into forward air. Like I say, up tilt's one of her main combo tools. You can do things like up tilt. I tried to do the turnaround back air, but I wasn't fast enough. But up tilt into turnaround back air. You can do things like up tilt into neutral air. Like up tilt just leads to all of her aerials at lower percentages, and at higher percentages, you just kind of rely on using up air over up tilt because of the position that up air kind of sets up for. And hopefully by that time you've netted a kill. Sophia's like a very good neutral heavy monster, so even if you don't get a kill at earlier percentages, it's really hard for your opponent to like get in on you. And like I said, you can also use falling up air as a combo tool, so you can do things like falling up air, down air, up air. It's a back air for like 39%. You can do things like falling up air into up air. You can even do things like falling up air into up B, as you can see right there. Just up air is a very, very good combo tool along with up tilt. And both of those moves kind of send at the same exact angles. That's why she's like such an annoying character and one of the best jugglers. Because as you can see, like her juggle potential is really good. You just kind of jump at opponents with up air. It covers so much. It kind of forces them to like make a move. If you land a lot of falling up air, you get like confirms and kills, or you get like big damage. And then her having like strong kill moves that kill at 100, if you like basically get a good read, that's just basically really good for a character like Sophia to have. That's why I think Sophia is one of the best characters in the game. So that'll do it for her combos. Let's talk about her neutral. So Sophia's neutral will involve a lot of her like dashing forward, dashing back, a lot of getting in position to space your aerials, a lot of short hop neutral airs. I think short hop neutral air is like one of her best tools. As you can see, like it's just really, really good. A lot of basically jumping, spacing out back airs, at lower percentages, landing with up air to get confirms and things like that. That'll basically be her neutral. The one thing you want to watch out for when playing Sophia is if your opponent is parrying a lot of your moves. That means you're throwing out the moves at the same timing and you're not mixing it up. So what you want to do is mix up the moves you throw out. So if you're throwing out forward air a lot and your forward air is getting parried, then what you want to do is, instead of landing with forward air, land with up air. Different move timing, different parry timing. If you're getting punished for landing with up air, then what you want to do is land with back air. Basically the same thing, different moves, different parry timing. You want to switch up the moves you use in the air so your opponent doesn't have the easiest time of parrying those moves. You also want to take advantage of the fact that her forward air and her up B is so good, so you want to edge guard your opponents the best you can. If your opponent has a bad recovery and has to go to one specific spot, then you really want to do your best to go off stage and bully them off stage. Sophia's basically a very, very big bully, as you'll see in like the guide follow-up video. Sophia's really annoying to deal with, really hard to deal with, but that's kind of what it is when you're a good character. Good characters aren't good characters because they're bad, right? And let's talk about her mechanic. So Sophia is what I call a neutral based character. As you can see next to her character icon, she has the 3 icons, which is which is for an upwards attack, a forwards attack, and a downwards attack. So her downwards attacks, which are down tilt and down air, charge the downward circle. Her forward attacks, which are side B and forward air, charge the forward circle. Can't forget about back air. Charge the excuse me. Charges the sideways circle. Her upper attacks, like up B, come on, bot, up tilt and up air, charge the up circle. And basically, once you filled up all 3 circles, Sophia gets her enhanced move, and basically her neutral B becomes a multitude of swings. Now, the thing about this neutral B that's really good is, let me fully charge it so I could, one, show you how easy it is to charge it. It's very easy to charge it with Sophia because Sophia's like moves are like really, really good. And the moves that you'll just basically be using in neutral charge it up. Thing about this move is, let me knock Sophia off as far as I can, is it's heavy armored. So as you see Sophia up B, and I took the hit and continued to hit her, the entire time while Sophia is doing that move, she cannot be stopped. That move cannot be stopped until it is done. You could probably grab her, because I think in this game you can grab opponents that are in heavy armor, but the move has so much range, you getting past the hitbox to grab her will actually be pretty crazy. The move is really, really good at intercepting recoveries and catching opponents that are just going to fall with the button because you have heavy armor the entire time you're doing it. Very, very good thing for a character like Sophia to have, just another way for her to get a kill on top of having neutral B, forward strong, and forward air, and a really good spiking down air, and a really good up B. Like I say, very, very good all-around character, but most sword characters are good all-around characters. So that'll do it for the Sophia guide. We've talked about her combos, we talked about her neutral, we talked about her moves, her A moves, and her aerial A moves and aerial grounded moves. We talked about her recovery, her neutral. I think I said neutral twice, but I'll just about do it for Sophia. Like I say, if you have any questions or about what stickers to use, hit me up. I'll be happy to answer them because, like I say, the beginning guide is for beginners, so I'm assuming it's for people who do not have Sophia's stickers yet. So if you're wondering what stickers to give to her, let me know. And like I always say, if the guide helps, if the guide helps, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. Or if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'm always happy to help, always happy to talk about Flash Party, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.